Welcome to GGP's Southern User Group. Welcome to Dacorum Borough Council, where GGP are hosting their Southern User Group. Today I'll have an opportunity to talk to some of our customers to see exactly what they think about GGP's products and the solutions that they've been buying from GGP over the past few years. Dacorum Borough Council is not any council building. It's home to a lot of heritage. Take a look. They've even got pictures of mayors dating from 1898 right through to 2013. This is Sir Astley Paston's Cooper's coat from 1898. Splendid. Hi, I'm here with Will from East Herts District Council, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the measurable benefits from GGP and also what he's using from the company. Will, hello.
Hello there.
Could you just let us know a little bit about what you've been using at the moment from GGP and how it's benefited you?
Well, our fundamental main use for GGP is the gas tier management software. We manage our LPG with it. We also use your eGGP software to publish maps to the intranet and to the internet.
And how useful are you finding using those products?
The latest version of eGGP is actually, it's pretty good. It performs well, it's nice and lightweight, and one of the main benefits, it's given us a way to get a lot of data into public hands without them coming and asking us for the data. They've got direct access to this data in reception, on intranet based and also internet based.
And how long have you known about GGP? How long have you used GGP for?
Well, it was brought in before my time at East Herts, so it's been in use with us for probably about 8 years or so. And I've been doing this job for 6 or 7 years, so it's something that's always been there.
Brilliant. But how about in terms of customer service? Do you find them a lot easier with customer service because they're a smaller company?
Yeah, it's always quite personable contacts at GGP, and I speak to Dimitri quite a bit.
Brilliant.
Over the last few months, and they always come back to you with an answer and a solution. So I've not really had any issues. It's all been good stuff from GGP from that point of view.
Excellent. Wonderful. Thanks very much for your time. Thank you, Will. I'm here now with John from Dacorum Borough Council. And as you know, we've been really impressed by the history here up at the council buildings. John, would you like to tell us a little bit more about the history of the building and, where this all originates from?
Yes, certainly, yes. Essentially, the Dacorum, as we know it, was one of the new towns. This building that we're currently situated in was built, my birth year actually, so 1965. So it's been around as long as I have.
Wow.
And probably feel the sort of the aches and pains as I do. So the building was very much designed for the Civic Centre was designed in 1965. Ahead of that, we were at the old town hall, which is at the old Town High Street, which dates back to 1850. And we have registers going back that far. The town, the borough, has a close association with Henry VIII, and we were given charter status way back in 1539. I don't actually remember that, but I learned that from my school. We were given borough status in 1974. So the building's somewhat now, it's 48 years old, and like most buildings of that age, it is starting to show signs of wear and tear. We also have quite a pressing requirement to move out of this building after 48 years of administration. The need for that is various drivers, including efficiencies, overheads of the building, and also the need to do some remote working as well.
So what will happen now to the building once you've moved across?
Well, essentially, once we move across the road, it is literally across the road to a building about a quarter of the size. This building, or the land, will be sold off, and it will be subject to a bid, probably to a large supermarket chain, which I can't give you the competitors, but the land will be sold off because it's obviously prime land, being very, very close to the town centre. So it'll be subject to a bid, and we are moving out. The timeline for moving from this building is the 30th of June 2014. So we've got quite a lot to do in that time, which means getting a lot of data digitised in terms of, if we look behind us, this fascinating historical information. There are loads of this.
Oh, I did notice that when we came in, actually, all these landlord and tenant books.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Some of them are probably quite archaic now, but nonetheless, there is some law we have downstairs in our legal department, which again will be coming in on CD-ROMs, because we have a massive drive to sort of move, say, from paper, books, literally because we won't have the space in the new building, which is about, say, a third of the size of this footprint. So what we're doing are we're doing a lot of work on archiving, but also digitising records. And in fact, funny enough, GIS has a big part to play as well in getting much more data available online to our customers, because we won't have the same face-to-face facilities with our customers. They'll still expect, a certain proportion of the residents, 140,000 in Dacorum, to have your face-to-face interaction. There'll still be provision for that, but we really want to move away from face-to-face telephone to actually almost like a self-service lookup. And also being in the new building, we're doing a lot more hot desking, so a sort of fairly sanitised environment with half a metre of personal space each. So not an awful lot to play with.
You mentioned before about working remotely. How can GGP, or how will GGP help with that?
Certainly, I think that GGP will be a great help in terms of provision of data. Someone sitting at home, they're not expected to take reams of paper and maps home. There are also confidentiality issues. So having information securely on a server that we can access remotely is a very, very key part. I certainly think GGP, GIS has a big part to play with the increase in the data we can publish to make that remote worker, whether it's a home worker or even a remote worker in the field. For instance, we can have a tree preservation officer or a trees worker, with robust tablets, being able to plot information on the tablet and it being automatically updated to the back office. Also having more information available remotely to a home worker or a remote worker will hopefully, again, cut down the amount of time they'll have to refer back to paper or back office information. So we can certainly see some natural efficiencies coming out of having more data available online, especially through a map. And I think GIS will help us make some really informative and informed decisions sort of going forward, as there's more pressure on government to make savings. Rationalisation of information or joining up of information, if you like, using maps and other digital information will provide real efficiencies. And as I say, better informed decision making. We saw an example earlier on about the clustering analysis. That would be so useful for the decision makers in terms of demographic policy, social policy, inclusion policy, all of that. So it's going to be really, really key. And having a quick, robust GIS available remotely will be very key in the home and remote working.
Well, that's brilliant. Thank you for giving us a great insight into how GGP can help you, well, literally move forward, as it was, move with the times as well, and to help you improve on everything for your efficiency, be cost effective. Just finally going to ask you before we end this is just how much more is there left to do now as far as GGP can help Dacorum?
In the way forward, we're looking to re-energise a corporate GIS system. We certainly have the endorsement of our corporate management team, CMT, to provide them with a sort of restructured business case, if you like, around the use of GIS. So we have the subscription and endorsement of our senior managers, and they see GIS as a very, very key part to play. The demos that we've had today, the product enhancements of the features, the web interaction, the web services interaction, I think are definitely the way forward. A lot of suppliers now are thinking about cloud. That it seems to be the buzzword. I know from being an IT person, the cloud is just essentially the internet. But offering services through that cloud, again, aligns with our remote working, home working. No matter where you are in the world, you can access to good mapping or digital information, then that's a key component. So I think, having seen, already what we have on board and taking that product forward, certainly with the web-based services and the interactions, I think would be a very, very key component really in our future business case to say re-energise GIS and really make it a truly corporate system.
Thank you very much for your time, John. Thank you. I'm with Peter Gale now, who's from Luton Borough Council. He's here to talk a bit about GGP. Hello, Peter.
Hi.
Peter, how long have you been using GGP for?
I think we got it in about 1998, I think, one of the first users of it as such then.
Brilliant, as long as that.
And it's been gradually sort of developed over the time. We started initially by taking all the Ordnance Survey data to build our own NSG database, which has now, of course, gone to GGP's own database. But in that time we've added data from all the different departments, housing, parks. So really our database is about 99.9% complete of everything we hold in the Borough of Luton.
Brilliant. I feel actually almost privileged to be sitting here with you. Thank you, Peter. I thought I was privileged enough to be sitting next to John from Dacorum, but I'm actually even more privileged to be sitting with you as well. Tell me a bit about, I was chatting to you earlier, I know we were having our lunch, and you mentioned about being able to speak to GGP, what made them exceptionally different to use them rather than another software company, is the fact that you can speak to the back office so easy. The customer service is brilliant. Tell me a bit about why you like them so much.
Well, firstly, GGP is very user-friendly database to use, and the data that we had to put in it was colossal. So therefore we had to pick a system which was easy to get on with, easy to use. And in that time, of course, we hit stumbling blocks, not being fully orientated, but to get in touch with the back office at GGP, they're first class, they come to you, they're very quick on the response. If they don't know if they've got a problem, they'll go away and sort it, come back to you within a very short time, and that helps us no end. Certainly, as we've got more and more proficient with it, we don't use them so much, but in the early days, it was a very big problem that we had to take on, and they've come out really excellent, yeah.
That's brilliant, that's great to know. The other thing I was going to ask you as well, Peter, is you've said you've used GGP for a long time. Now, if you were going to recommend GGP now to another council, what would you say?
I would say it's a very good product. It's excellent. We've had no problems with it. It's going back to ease of use. If you can train somebody within 2 or 3 hours to the rudiments of a product, that proves how good it is. And GGP you can do that with.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your time, Peter. Thank you. I'm here with Stuart McClousland, who's one of GGP's account managers. Hello, Stuart.
Good afternoon.
Tell us a bit about the user group and what it's all about. Obviously we've had the Scottish one and the Northern one. Tell us a bit about all of them. Now we're at the Southern one. What's it for?
The user group is an ideal opportunity for the customers to get together. They can discuss problems they're having with legislation like Inspire. They can talk to the developers directly, like Tim's here today. It's an ideal opportunity for them to formulate the way that they want our company to progress. So they give us all the information about what they want the product to do over the next 2 years, 3 years.
And do you think that, obviously Tim Maxwell's here, who's our MD, but who knows more about developing more than anybody in the company, do you think it gives him an opportunity to find out further developments that can take place with all of the software?
Very much so. Tim obviously knows how he wants the product to go forward and what he can do with it, but really we need to find out what the customers want. They're the people at the end of the day that are going to purchase the product from us. Mm-hmm. So therefore, the more information they can give us, the more Tim can put into the development plan.
Mm-hmm. How long has the user group been about for?
As far as I know, it's been about as long as the company's been about. Most companies have a user group. It's an ideal way, as I say, of communication between the customer and the development team. Mm-hmm. So it's quite a common thing to have one. It's well liked.
I noticed during the lunch break as well, it's given an opportunity for customers then to talk closely with the developers team. And then we've got Daniel here as well, who's the team leader for IT support as well. Now, how can he lend a chance for the customers to learn more?
It's just passing on what's happening. It's a case of, Daniel's aware of all the communication from the customers to us as a company. And if they haven't actually communicated with us, I mean, Daniel can pass on information to them that they're not the only person with that problem, they're not the only person that's looking at that direction to go in.
Brilliant. And Daniel also is involved with training as well, isn't he?
Yes.
And GGP obviously provides training as well for most of their products. Is this a good way, do you think, to be able to sell GGP more as well?
I wouldn't say it's a way of selling GGP. I mean, user groups tend to be with people who have already purchased the product. It's a way of retaining these people. It's a way of getting over to them that we are concerned about what they want from the product. And it's not dictating, it's not just talking to them, it's actually listening. It's very much a listening exercise.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much for your time, Stuart. Thank you.